NYC, Javits Center in Manhattan, New York City. Wrapping it up an overall review. I came here on Sunday. My first time at Anime NYC, my first time at Javits Center. So, from previous experience, go on usually the last day when the crowd's a little less, to get a feel for it and the layout. If I do it again, which I will be, even as a fan, then go on Saturday. Anime NYC is the core of it, and a lot of it does have to do with the various aspects of Japanese anime. But it is so much more than just, any con you go to, Comic-Con, Anime Con, whatever, you have a lot of cosplay, you have the vendors, the exhibitors, panels, etc. But Anime NYC is so much more than that. They have playcrafting. They play NYC at Anime NYC this year, which brought an entirely new aspect to it of board and indie gamers. There's actually a huge gaming hall. In that gaming hall, in addition to Play NYC, there was an arcade games. I grew up in the 70s and 80s, dropping all the quarters and the entire allowance into the video games. There was tabletop games. So that's just one part of it. Then I went up towards the end. I went up to the fourth floor, the top level. It's like, even other members of the press I spoke to, it's like Javits is like weird, where you almost have like half the space in between a section and a floor. Weird layout. But anyway, I'll get over to the layout and technical part of it shortly. There was an entire level dedicated to cosplay, and then down below at the lower level they had a cosplay meetup. Of course, you had your celebrities, you had your voice actors, actresses, etc. There was panel rooms, which I knew I wouldn't even try to do any of them because of being there only one day and my first time there. Now, when you walk in, check the video part one of the review while I was there. When you walk in, no matter what kind of mood you're in, immediately your mood goes way up, your adrenaline kicks in, your energy level skyrockets. And it has to do with a couple of things. Number one, excited to be there, but that's only a small part of it. Number two was, you walk in, there's a DJ creating the mood of the high energy, adrenaline. Everybody's just thrilled to be there type mood. And the other aspect of it is the people and the people who attended. Not only the people who attended, but the staff in general. Everyone combined to set okay, you know what? When we walk through those doors, the world doesn't exist. That is outside. We're here. We're gonna have a good time. We're here for whatever reason, and we're just gonna enjoy Anime NYC and life for a little bit. So it was the combination of every aspect, and the energy level of the crowd was a huge contributor to that. As soon as you walked in, I always do. I started with Play NYC because when I walked into Javits, like I said, it was my first time there. I'm like, okay, where do I start? I started with Play NYC. I was like, all right, that's familiar to me. Then I'll do my usual, work my way from one end to the other. Now, after Play NYC, every time I go to a con, I do a straight line for Artist Alley. I always love supporting the indies. So, hit the huge exhibitor, Artist Alley, autograph, celebrity section. And trust me. A quick tip about Anime NYC. This thing is so big that even with the maps that they had posted throughout the event, go by landmarks, especially in the exhibitor hall. There was like 2 or 3 times I got completely turned around because I wanted to go back to the one place I had books, and I got completely turned around. So when you go to Anime NYC, hopefully in 2025, especially if it's your first time, pay attention to the vendors, artists, whatever. Go by your landmarks. I know this is going way too long, but this is impossible to sum up in like 4 minutes or less. And I really have to mention the people behind the scenes here. This very special thank you to everyone behind the scenes, all the planning, all the vendors, everyone involved in pulling and making this happen. And the level of security there, I also have to mention that it's just, I promise to wrap this up soon. The level of security was above what I expected, even into our modern society where they had New York State Police there. But it was this appeared to be a very important aspect where the security, including New York State Police, were visible walking through, but they weren't intrusive. In other words, they weren't like just standing there, dead serious and everything. They didn't intrude on anyone's experience. I actually had a chance to talk to a New York State officer. I said, thank you thanks to all your officers for what you do. I had a short conversation with them, and it was just like, even they appeared to be having fun there, while taking their job very seriously. The celebrity and artist section, the celebrity autographs section, the overall layout of this was excellent, where that was in the exhibitor hall, artist alley section, but it was on the edge. It was on the edges. It wasn't in the center, which was great because I was just picturing on Saturday how it didn't intrude or overlap or like overflow into the main section. So it wasn't like, okay, we'll drop in the middle and everybody has to go around. And the overall layout, it's planned so that, okay, if you want to go to panel, you go to this section. Check out the exhibit, So it's like, yeah, and the flow was very smooth. So it's like with each section, with each aspect having its own section, it prevented a lot of overflow that could have happened where, okay, let's put this next to this, and all of a sudden you gotta have like gridlock just trying to walk through. I think that's now one final part I'm like really going long here, I know. But one final part I really want to point out is my knowledge of Japanese animes go back to the 80s. Vampire Hunter D, Akira, Speed Racer, Star Blazers, the cartoons. So I really needed to update it and get it modernized. Anime NYC is a great way to learn about Japanese anime, some aspects of the Japanese culture in general, and to kind of like update your knowledge. It's like anciently outdated like mine. And the best way to do this, I found out, was just talking to people that are there, talking to the artists, talking to the vendors, to get, to learn. So it's like a really great educational experience also. Would I recommend Anime NYC if you haven't figured out by now? Make this one of your top events. This is for 2025. No matter where you are in the country, possibly the world, if you can travel to New York City, you have to experience this. Even if you're not into anime and Japanese anime, bring your kids. You will have an incredible, fantastic, amazing time. Is it worth the money? Let me put it this way. Regardless of press credentials for 2025, I promise you there will be an article where if I do not receive press credentials, where I will buy a pass and I will buy a day pass and there will be an article, hey look, I spent my own money. I will have no problem, not even a first thought, or let alone a second, about spending my money to go to this event. And trust me, that is an obscenely short list of events that I can say that about. Oh yeah, one other aspect of it. Once you walk in with the budget, honestly, I could drop 10 grand there like that with the artists alone. Check out the website, check out the exhibitor list, figure out what you want. Because you could normally I easily blow my budget there, and I got a compliment on my straight from one of the vendors. But yes, you could blow a lot of money there, but you don't have to. The food lines, by the time I realized that Wawa Sizzly isn't cutting it anymore, were fairly long, and I realized that for next year I really got to start trying some Japanese food in general. But they also have Nathan's hot dogs there, and if you really don't want to wait in that kind of line, don't have the budget for it in there, $10 20-ounce Diet Coke hot dog outside, or at the food cart outside. They have multiple food carts are making a killing out there. Or just walk around a little, grab some meat before you go. And I just thought of a final aspect. Anime NYC, there's been a couple. There's one I can think of right off the top of my head. If you're there for an entire day, trust me, Anime NYC, you either want to sit down at some point or step outside like I did for lunch and a cigarette. Finally, because I'm like, I need a break. That is a very high compliment. Because of the energy level, because of the adrenaline, the crowd, and every aspect of it, there's a very good chance you're going to need to take a break, step outside, walk right back in, show your badge, go through the metal detector, have your bag checked if you have one, you're gold. Trust me, I did it like 2 or 3 times. Michael Phoenix, founder staff from Bryant Park, NYC, the home of FireCity Illusion. To your family and friends, please, as always, continue to stay safe, and wishing you only the best and much success in your lives.